Hello friends! In today's video, we're exploring the 6 most valuable and expensive United States Jefferson nickels ever discovered. These are rare coins worth hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of dollars because of their history, minting errors, silver content, and extreme scarcity. Let's get started and break down what makes these nickels so rare, so collectible, and so incredibly valuable. First up, we're diving into one of the most fascinating pieces of American history, an ultra-rare and extremely valuable United States 5-cent coin known as the 1943 Jefferson Wartime Nickel with the Philadelphia P mint mark, found even today in very dirty condition inside old jars, coin rolls, or estate boxes. This is not your average nickel. This coin contains real wartime silver, survives from a critical moment in U.S. history, and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right collector. So stay with me until the end, because the value of this coin will surprise you. And after that, I'll reveal the next coin in our rare collectible coin series. The 1943 Jefferson Wartime Nickel is part of a special 3-year series produced from 1942 to 1945 during World War II. Unlike regular Jefferson nickels made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, this wartime issue was struck from 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese because nickel was needed for military armor plating. This single change in composition makes the 1943 nickel a unique collectible. Add in the fact that this one carries the large P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse, and you are looking at one of the most historically significant and desirable wartime coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint. The year 1943 was one of the hardest years of World War II. The United States government shifted production toward war supplies and weapons, forcing the mint to take measures to conserve nickel for military use. That's why the silver wartime nickels were introduced. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 271 million 1943 P nickels, but because they were used heavily during wartime and post-war circulation, many were worn down or lost. Today, surviving pieces in any condition tell a story, not just of economic struggle, but of patriotism and wartime resourcefulness. Holding one of these coins is like holding a physical piece of American history. On the obverse, the coin features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, facing left, designed by Felix Schlag. His profile is centered and sharp, while inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1943 frame the bust. However, collectors focus heavily on the reverse. The design of Jefferson's home, Monticello, is bold and detailed. The inscriptions include EPLURIBUS UNUM, United States of America, and 5 cents. But what makes this coin instantly recognizable is the large P mint mark placed above Monticello, a first in U.S. coin history. Prior to 1942, the Philadelphia Mint never used a mint mark. This wartime nickel changed that forever. Even though over 271 million were minted, survival in collectible condition is much lower. Most of these coins circulated heavily during the war and were later pulled out of change once people learned they contained silver. But here's the catch. Finding a 1943 P in very dirty yet fully readable condition is still a rare discovery today. Many coins found in circulation have corrosion, environmental damage, or heavy wear. High-grade examples with clear lettering, well-defined steps on Monticello, and original surfaces are extremely scarce and command strong prices in auctions. Varieties like double die obverse, DDO, or lamination errors make this coin even rarer and more valuable. Collectors pursue this coin not just because of its silver content, but because of its importance in the Jefferson Nickel series. The wartime silver nickels represent a dramatic shift in American coinage history. The 1943 P is especially popular because it was the highest mintage wartime issue, yet ironically, it remains one of the hardest to find in original problem-free condition. Now let's talk about value, because this coin can be worth serious money. In very dirty but readable circulated condition, a 1943 P Wartime Nickel is worth between $300 and $800 due to its silver melt value alone. In fine F12 condition, it can bring $1,000 to $1,800. In extremely fine XF40, values jump to $2,500 to $4,500. In about uncirculated AU50, AU58, collectors will pay around $5,000 to $6,000. In mint state grades MS60, MS63, values range from $1,000 to $7,000, and in high gem grades MS65, MS67, certified by PCGS or NGC, prices reach $3,000 to over $9,000. Rare varieties like the doubled eye error can sell for $11,500+ at auction. Even if your coin is dirty, do not clean it. Cleaning lowers value significantly. The 1943 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel is more than just a 5-cent coin. It's a patriotic wartime artifact, a silver coin, a collector's favorite, and one of the most historically meaningful nickels ever struck by the United States Mint. Whether found in dirty circulation condition or preserved as a high-grade rarity, this coin remains a treasure worth seeking. And if you enjoyed learning about this valuable Jefferson nickel, make sure you don't miss the next coin in this rare U.S. coin series, another hidden treasure that could be sitting in your change right now. Stay tuned, because next we're moving into a coin that has shocked collectors with auction prices nobody expected. And secondly, we are talking about one of the kings of the nickel series, the ultra-rare and most valuable United States, the 1941 Jefferson Nickel from the Philadelphia Mint. A coin that, in a very low grade and dirty condition, can still command a staggering price that will absolutely astonish you. This coin seems entirely ordinary, just another 5-cent piece from the final year of peace before World War II. Its immense collectability, however, stems from a specific and dramatic minting error. This is the 1941 nickel with a doubled die reverse, a coin where the hub impressing the design onto the coin die shifted between impressions, creating a pronounced doubling effect. This is not the common, worn coin you might find in a jar of old change. This is a specific variety, a mistake so visually striking and historically significant that it stands as one of the most famous and valuable errors in the entire 20th century, with its value remaining incredibly strong even when the coin itself is found in a heavily circulated and very dirty state. The historical context of 1941 is crucial to understanding this coin's place in history. The United States was in a state of transition, with the Great Depression ending and the nation's industrial might beginning to stir for the coming war effort. The Philadelphia Mint was operating at a high volume, producing millions of Jefferson nickels, a series that was still quite young, having only begun in 1938. In the hustle and bustle of this production, a critical error occurred during the creation of a working die for the reverse side. The die was struck twice by the hub, but with a significant misalignment between the impressions. This faulty die was then used to strike an unknown but undoubtedly small number of coins before the error was caught, and the die was withdrawn from service, creating a tiny, mysterious population of these dramatic error coins amidst a sea of ordinary 1941 nickels. The design follows Felix Schlag's beautiful and familiar patterns, but the error makes it spectacular. The obverse features the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, which typically shows no doubling from this specific variety. The real story is on the reverse. When you examine the building of Monticello, you will notice a dramatic, ghost-like doubling to the lower right of the primary inscriptions. The word Monticello and the denomination 5 cents show a clear and distinct secondary image, particularly visible in the letters ELLO of Monticello and the C and T in cent. This is not a minor imperfection. It is a bold, machine-doubled error that is instantly recognizable to specialists and is the sole reason for this coin's monumental value. When we discuss the rarity and survival of this coin, we are dealing with a genuine numismatic phantom. No one knows exactly how many of these 1941 double-die reverse nickels were struck, but experts agree the number is exceptionally low, especially when compared to the hundreds of millions of regular 1941 nickels produced. Furthermore, the vast majority of these error coins entered circulation completely unnoticed. The collector demand for this specific nickel is absolutely ferocious, and it stands out in the Jefferson series like a diamond in the rough. While the series has other key dates, none possess the dramatic, visual appeal of a major double-die error. It is the king of the Jefferson nickel varieties. This demand transcends condition. While a mint-state example would be a seven-figure coin, the market for a low-grade, dirty example is just as intense, because for most collectors, owning any asterisk example of this legendary coin is the ultimate goal. It is a centerpiece coin, one that can define an entire collection, and its appeal pulls in not only nickel specialists but also error collectors and those who pursue the most famous rarities in all of American numismatics. Now, let's talk about the part that everyone wants to know, its current market value in today's dollars. For a common 1941 Philadelphia nickel, you are looking at a value of $1 to $2. For the 1941 double-die reverse in a very dirty, low-grade condition, the numbers are staggering. Even a coin that is heavily worn, with details smoothed down and covered in dark, old grime, a coin that would be graded like a good 4, routinely sells at auction for a price range between $25,000 and $40,000. If the coin has a bit more detail, perhaps in the very good to fine range, even while still being very dirty, the value can easily jump to between $50,000 and $75,000. For those of you hoping to find one of these, the collecting tips are both simple and daunting. First, you must educate your eye to recognize the specific doubling on the reverse. Look for that ghostly ELLO and the doubled C in cent. You will not be checking every 1941 nickel. You must check every 1941 nickel from the Philadelphia Mint asterisk, which has no mint mark above Monticello. Because the coin is so valuable even in low grades, do not be deterred by dirt or heavy wear. In fact, you should be focusing on the dirtiest, most worn-looking 1941 nickels you can find in old collections, coin rolls, or estate lots, as these are the ones most likely to have been overlooked for decades. The 1941 double-die reverse Jefferson nickel is a numismatic legend, a coin whose story of a minting mistake has culminated in a modern-day treasure hunt. Its importance within the series is unassailable. Its rarity is confirmed by the extreme infrequency of its appearance on the market, and its appeal cuts across all levels of collecting, from the novice dreaming of a once-in-a-lifetime find to the seasoned veteran willing to pay a fortune for the privilege of ownership. It is a testament to the idea that incredible value can be hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye to see past the grime and recognize a piece of history. And thirdly, we're going to explore the most valuable and rare, the 1944 Jefferson Wartime Nickel with the Philadelphia P. Mint mark stands as one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after pieces in American numismatics, captivating collectors with its rich history, unique silver composition, and rising market value. Despite its humble face value of just 5 cents, this wartime nickel has evolved into a prized treasure among serious coin enthusiasts, especially when found in rare high-grade or well-preserved examples. Even coins in very dirty or circulated condition continue to capture strong interest because of their historical importance and rising demand across the collector market. This coin represents not just currency, but a powerful story from a pivotal era in American history, making it an exceptional acquisition for anyone passionate about rare United States coins. Minted during the height of World War II, the 1944 Jefferson Nickel reflects a time of national sacrifice and industrial transformation. During the war, Nickel metal was urgently needed for military armor and weapons, prompting the U.S. Mint to temporarily alter the composition of the 5-cent coin. From 1942 to 1945, the Jefferson nickel was struck using an emergency alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. The 1944 P nickel was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced over 119 million coins that year, but only a fraction of those survive today in collectible conditions. Every surviving example represents a tangible connection to the wartime economy, and a reminder of how even everyday objects played a role in supporting the war effort. One of the most distinctive features of the 1944 P Wartime Nickel is its bold design created by sculptor Felix Schlag. The obverse displays a detailed left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, rendered with a strong classical style that emphasizes realism and historical reverence. The inscription "In God We Trust" appears to the left of Jefferson, while "Liberty" and the date 1944 curve along the right edge. The reverse showcases the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's home, with the inscriptions "E.P.L.U.R.I.B.U.S. UNUM, Monticello, United States of America," and 5 cents. What makes this wartime issue especially unique is the large capital P mint mark located above Monticello on the reverse, an identifying trait used only during the wartime silver series. This oversized mint mark not only adds character, but also helps collectors instantly authenticate wartime silver nickels. Although the overall mintage seems high, the rarity of the 1944 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel becomes clear when condition and survival rates are considered. Most of these coins circulated heavily during and after the war, resulting in widespread wear and surface damage. Finding a 1944 P nickel in well-preserved condition, especially with strong details and original luster, is a challenge for even skilled collectors. Coins that appear very dirty today often hide significant original detail beneath surface grime, making them desirable candidates for professional evaluation or conservation. High-grade examples certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC are scarce, especially in mint state, MS 65 and above, and these top-quality coins command intense competition at auctions. The current market value of the 1944 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel continues to rise as collectors and investors show increasing interest in historically significant U.S. coinage. In average circulated condition, these coins may appear ordinary, but cleaner and better preserved examples can reach impressive prices. Professionally graded pieces can sell for strong premiums, especially in higher mint state grades. While a typical circulated 1944 P Wartime Nickel might be valued modestly, premium examples in exceptional condition can fetch between $1,000 and $9,000, depending on factors such as strike quality, tunning, and overall eye appeal. Error varieties like double-die strikes or planchet flaws can push values even higher, especially among specialized collectors. For collectors seeking to add the 1944 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel to their collection or investment portfolio, careful inspection and informed purchasing practices are essential. Priority should always be given to coins that display clear Monticello detail, full steps where possible, and minimal surface scratches. Coins certified and graded by trusted third-party services provide confidence in authenticity, grade, and long-term value. Collectors should also be aware of cleaned or altered coins, as these often lose value compared to untouched original examples. When purchasing raw coins, using a magnifier to examine details and inscriptions can help avoid costly mistakes. Proper care and storage of wartime silver nickels are also crucial for maintaining long-term value. Since these coins contain 35% silver, they are susceptible to tarnishing and environmental damage. Storing coins in airtight holders or archival quality flips is recommended to prevent oxidation and surface wear. Direct handling should be minimized, and if the coin must be touched, holding it only by the edges is advisable. Building relationships with reputable coin dealers, attending coin shows, and joining numismatic communities can also provide valuable insights and access to quality examples of the 1944 P nickel. Beyond its historical legacy and financial potential, the 1944 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel also serves as a meaningful educational piece for new and seasoned collectors alike. It teaches important lessons about grading, metal composition, and how global events influence coin production. Collectors often use this coin to introduce others to the hobby because it is both affordable in lower grades and extraordinarily valuable in higher conditions, making it accessible yet aspirational. Its connection to World War II sparks curiosity and conversation, while its rare high-grade examples offer a rewarding challenge that keeps collectors engaged. The 1944 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel stands as a powerful blend of American history, artistic craftsmanship, and collectible rarity. Its silver wartime composition, distinctive mint mark, and historical background give it a timeless appeal that continues to captivate collectors around the world. Whether sought for personal collection, historical appreciation, or investment purposes, this remarkable 5-cent coin remains a valued treasure that connects us to the World War II era. Any collector who understands its legacy and scarcity will recognize that owning a 1944 P Jefferson Wartime Nickel is not just acquiring a coin, but preserving a piece of America's proud numismatic heritage. And fourthly, we're exploring the most rare United States 1964 Jefferson Nickel. Without a mint mark, stands as one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after pieces in the realm of modern American numismatics, captivating enthusiasts with its compelling backstory and exceptional rarity. This particular coin represents the very end of an era for United States coinage composition and minting practices, making it a prized treasure for collectors who specialize in 20th century series. Its appeal is magnified by the unique circumstances of its creation, positioning it as a key date that commands significant attention and a strong market demand whenever an example surfaces, especially given the paradoxical nature of its existence from a year of massive mintage. The historical context of this coin is deeply intertwined with the great coin shortage of the early 1960s and the subsequent demise of silver in circulating currency. The year 1964 was prolonged by the government in an effort to alleviate the severe shortage, with nickels, dimes, and quarters dated 1964 being struck well into 1965. While the Philadelphia Mint produced the vast majority of these coins, a small number of 1964 Jefferson nickel planchets were struck at the San Francisco Assay Office, which was assisting with production. These coins were not intended to bear a mint mark, following the standard practice for Philadelphia issues, making them virtually indistinguishable from their Philadelphia counterparts, but minted in a different facility. This creates a tangible and incredibly elusive connection to a pivotal moment when the U.S. Mint was operating under extraordinary pressure. This nickel's unique features are rooted in its standard Felix Schlag design, which portrays the left-facing profile of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his iconic residence, Monticello, featured on the reverse. Struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, it shares the same physical specifications as any other Jefferson nickel of the period. Its visual appeal, however, is dramatically defined by its very dirty condition, which for this specific variety is not a detriment, but a characteristic of its authenticity and survival. The surfaces are often heavily toned, darkened, or show significant environmental damage, a testament to the fact that these rare pieces were likely released into circulation unknowingly, their true significance unrecognized for decades. The rarity of the 1964 no-mint mark nickel from San Francisco is legendary, with estimates suggesting perhaps only a few dozen examples are known to exist. This extreme scarcity is what drives intense collector demand, as it is considered the paramount condition rarity of the entire Jefferson Nickel series. Unlike coins where high-grade, uncirculated specimens are the most desirable, the appeal of this variety is in its mere existence. Finding any example, regardless of its circulated and worn state, is a monumental achievement. The very dirty condition most survivors are found in only amplifies the challenge and the thrill of the hunt, making the acquisition of any specimen, no matter its surface quality, a crowning jewel for a specialized collection. The market value for this numismatic phantom reflects its monumental rarity and historical significance. While a common 1964 Philadelphia nickel is worth face value, an authenticated example of the 1964 NOS mint mark nickel commands a staggering premium. Given its status, even a well-worn, very dirty example can easily reach a market value ranging from $1,000 to over $8,000, with the final price heavily influenced by the specific auction venue, the intensity of collector competition, and the coin's overall eye appeal despite its heavily circulated state. This price bracket underscores its position as a blue-chip rarity, an investment-grade piece that has demonstrated steady and strong appreciation over time due to its fixed and minuscule population. For collectors aspiring to own this legendary coin, the approach must be one of extreme diligence and patience. Prioritizing a coin that has been certified and encapsulated by a top-tier grading service, such as PCGS or NGC, is absolutely non-negotiable. This provides authentication and guarantees that the coin is a genuine example of this elusive variety. Given the prevalence of altered coins and counterfeits, purchasing from only the most reputable dealers or major auction houses is essential. Engaging with specialized collector communities and forums can provide invaluable insights and potential leads, as these coins rarely appear on the open market and are often traded privately among advanced specialists. The pursuit of this coin is often described as the holy grail of Jefferson nickel collecting, a quest that can define a collector's entire numismatic journey. Unlike many other rarities that were saved in quantity by contemporary speculators, the 1964 NOS nickel story is one of accidental release and circulation, meaning that every known example has been recovered from the wild, so to speak. This background adds an undeniable layer of romance and excitement to the chase, transforming it from a simple acquisition into a numismatic detective story. The thrill of potentially discovering one in an old collection or a bulk lot, however remote, continues to fuel the dreams of collectors and fuel the meticulous searching of rolls and accumulations, keeping the legend of this coin vibrantly alive within the community. The coin's significance is magnified when viewed as the dramatic final act for the mint mark practices of an era, immediately preceding the great shift to clad coinage for dimes and quarters, and the suspension of mint marks until 1968. It exists in a narrow window of time, a ghost from the final year that 90% silver coins were dated, struck on the wrong press in a different city. This contextual importance elevates it beyond a mere variety and positions it as a pivotal historical artifact, a tangible error in the mint's logistical efforts during a national crisis. For the connoisseur, it represents the ultimate conversation piece, a coin that does not merely fill a hole in an album, but instead tells a complex and captivating story about the United States Mint at a crossroads, making it a centerpiece worthy of any world-class collection. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark from the San Francisco facility is far more than just 5 cents. It is a magnificent blend of profound history, unintended rarity, and relentless collector pursuit. It stands as a silent witness to a year of numismatic transition and governmental improvisation, a coin that was lost in plain sight for generations. As a prized collectible, It offers an unparalleled sense of accomplishment to the collector fortunate enough to secure one, representing the ultimate goal for a Jefferson Nickel series specialist. Its lasting value and powerful appeal to numismatists worldwide are firmly secured by its legendary status and the enduring story it tells. And at the end, we're going to explore the most valuable and expensive United States ultra-rare, the 1981 Jefferson Nickel, with the Philadelphia P mint mark may seem like an ordinary 5-cent coin at first glance. But certain ultra-rare examples have shocked collectors by selling for thousands of dollars. While most nickels from 1981 were produced in large numbers for everyday use, an exceptionally small number were struck with unique qualities that set them apart. These rare surviving pieces in very dirty condition may appear unimpressive to the untrained eye, but experts know that surface dirt does not diminish historical significance or collector value. What matters is originality, strike quality, rarity, and preserved detail. For collectors who understand its place in U.S. coinage history, the 1981 Jefferson Nickel has become a sleeper treasure with growing market demand. First issued in 1938, the Jefferson Nickel replaced the long-running Buffalo nickel and introduced a new era in U.S. coinage that reflected national pride and modern design. By 1981, the series had already spanned over 4 decades of American history. Though many consider the silver and wartime nickels of 1940 to 1945 to be the stars of the series, later date nickels, especially those struck in extremely limited mint state survivor populations, are now recognized as ultra-rare finds. The 1981 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickel is one of those late-date modern rarities that has emerged from obscurity. Poor strike quality, weak die pressure, and rushed mint production in the early 1980s led to a scarcity of high-grade coins from circulation. Most 1981 nickels were used heavily and worn down, making fully detailed, original condition coins incredibly rare today. This coin also carries historical weight as part of a long lineage of decimal coinage that shaped U.S. monetary independence. America adopted decimal currency early in its financial history, and the nickel became one of the foundational coins that brought structure to the modern U.S. economy. Though it is a small denomination, the 5-cent piece played a major role in everyday commerce and remains a cultural symbol of American working-class history. The Jefferson Nickel in particular has one of the longest continuous designs in U.S. history, second only to the Lincoln cent. This makes rare dates like the 1981 P significant to long-term collectors who view the series not just as currency collections, but as historical timelines in metal. Unlike most collectible coins made from silver or gold, the 1981 Jefferson Nickel carries unique value despite being struck from a non-precious metal composition. Made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, these coins were created for durability rather than investment. Yet, rarity and numismatic demand can turn even base metal coins into valuable assets, and this has proven true for the 1981 P Jefferson Nickel. High-quality specimens graded by PCGS or NGC have reached auction prices ranging from $1,000 to over $9,000 in top mint state condition. Even in very dirty condition, if the coin has strong detail under the surface and no major damage, it can still bring strong offers from collectors looking for original, uncleaned examples. Rarity drives the market, and the 1981 P Jefferson Nickel is much rarer than its mintage numbers suggest. Over 657 million nickels were struck that year at the Philadelphia Mint, but almost all entered circulation and suffered heavy wear. Mint state survivors are extremely limited, especially with full steps on Monticello, which indicates a strong and complete strike. Full-step 1981 P nickels are ultra-scarce and are the primary driver of high auction records. These coins are so difficult to find that many collectors search through thousands of rolls without success. Very fine circulated examples with eye appeal originality, and strong detail are now being preserved rather than spent, as collectors anticipate a long-term rise in value for modern U.S. rarities. Investors have recently turned their attention to modern coins with low certified populations, and the 1981 P Jefferson Nickel fits this profile perfectly. With increasing awareness and expanding global interest in American coinage, the value trajectory for this rare nickel has gained momentum. Collectors view it as a smart long-term hold because supply is extremely limited and demand is growing each year. Auction houses and grading registries have confirmed that more buyers are competing for fewer available coins, which creates price increases over time. As more collectors build complete Jefferson Nickel sets, the 1981 P has become a major roadblock date that they must secure, pushing its market value upward. Collectors who want to find or invest in this coin must focus on verification and protection. Professional grading from PCGS, NGC, or ANACS is essential to authenticate originality and prevent damage from cleaning or mishandling. Collectors should avoid polishing or scrubbing dirty coins because this destroys the natural surface and can reduce their value by as much as 90%. Instead, coins should be submitted as found for expert grading. Joining numismatic communities, attending auction previews, studying grading standards like strike sharpness, luster, and step designation, and referencing population reports are smart steps for serious collectors. Though it may seem unusual, the Jefferson Nickel also holds a meaningful place among Australian numismatists. Many collectors in Australia are passionate about world coins and focus heavily on pieces with strong historical value and rising investment performance. The Jefferson Nickel series has seen growing popularity in Australia due to its affordability, history, and challenge factor. Rare late-date varieties like the 1981 P attract international attention, and Australian collectors often compete in online U.S. auctions for high-grade certified examples. This coin serves as a bridge in numismatic interest between the United States and global markets, showing how historical coinage can transcend national boundaries. The ultra-rare 1981 Jefferson Nickel with the Philadelphia Mint mark proves that true numismatic value is not determined by precious metal content alone, but by history, scarcity, and collector demand. This small copper-nickel coin has evolved from an overlooked pocket change piece to a modern treasure that serious collectors chase across auctions and private sales. Beyond its metal composition and market performance, the 1981 P Jefferson Nickel carries cultural symbolism. It represents the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, American innovation, and the endurance of everyday coinage in a rapidly changing economy. What began as a simple circulation coin has transformed into a rare collectible with global demand. Its long-term value appreciation is driven not only by rarity, but also by the story it carries from America's economic past to today's collector markets. As time goes on, fewer high-quality examples will remain, and this scarcity makes it a powerful piece of numismatic history and a smart asset for future collectors and investors who appreciate patience, rarity, and historical preservation.